Hello friends, this is Sushru Tendulkar and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the second video in the series Introduction to Natural Language Processing. In this video, we're going to look into the intuition behind word meaning and how meanings can be represented in computers. We'll then look into WordVec, a popular implementation of word vectors, and we finally look into how WordVec can be calculated using neural networks. Let's get started. How do we understand word meaning? We as a human being have a certain way to represent meaning of words in our brain. If you search for meaning of the word meaning, it says the thing that is conveyed especially by language or something that is meant or intended. So every word we utter, we intend to convey something to the other person. Keeping this idea, we want to have a technique to teach computers to understand the meaning of words so that they can process text and voice data. What is the best way to have word meaning in computer? WordNet is a dictionary containing lists of synonyms and hypernyms. You can look up for words and you can get corresponding synonyms. An example where this can be useful is text search, where a user searches for the word motel and the system should understand that it is similar to the word hotel and get results for hotel as well. But the problems with the resources like WordNet. WordNet is like a dictionary of words. It is great as a resource, but words miss the contextual meaning. Meanings of the words are not available for the latest words. For example, wicked, nifty, etc. It requires human labor to create and adapt. And one of the biggest drawbacks is we cannot compute word similarity. Now, can words be represented by one-hot vectors? What is one-hot vector? It is a technique of converting words into numbers. Let's take an example. Bangalore is a hub of startups and it's growing every year. First, we collect a list of unique words in the vocabulary, 11 in our example, and we arrange them in a particular order. To represent a unique word, we assign 1 against it and assign 0 to all other words. So, the unique representation of hub here is 00, 01, 00, 00, 000. Similarly, we can represent all other words uniquely. What are the challenges with one-hot vectors? First, the dimension of vector depends on size of the vocabulary. In our previous example, we had 11 words, so our vector representation had dimension 11. If we had word vocabulary of 10,000 words, then dimension would increase significantly. Second, let's say we represent words Brazil and its capital. One-hot vectors don't represent any word similarity. Each of the vector representation can be used for similar words, representing words by their context. J.R. Firth was an English linguist and a leading figure in British linguistics during 1950s. He is known for the famous quotation, "You shall know a word by the company it keeps." Put differently, words that share similar contexts tend to have similar meanings. When a word W appears in a text, its context is a set of words that appear nearby, within a fixed size window. You can use the many contexts of W to build up a representation of W. Let's understand what are word vectors. Word vectors or word embeddings or word representations is one of the most popular representation of document vocabulary. It is capable of capturing context of a word in a document, semantic and syntactic similarity, relation with other words. Words can be represented using collection of numbers with specific meaning to it. For example, king can be represented as a vector 0.99, 0.99, 0.02, 0.07, or queen can be represented as 0.99, 0.02, 0.99, 0.6. So what does each number represent here? We can imagine that each of the rows correspond to a particular real word meaning of the word. If second feature corresponds to male, then the word king and boy would have highest value to it, whereas queen and princess would have least value to it. When it comes to the meaning of royal, all of king, queen and princess would have highest values to it, but the word boy would have least value to it. Now, what is the advantages of such a representation? The advantages of representing words using word vector is that it can be visualized using graphs. If you notice the graph, all the similar words are together in two-dimensional vector spaces. Now let's see the specific implementation of word vector known as word2vec. It is shorthand for word to vector. Developed by Thomas Michelot and team in 2013, word2vec is a framework for learning word vectors. Now, what is the general idea behind word2vec? We have a large corpus of text grouped into documents and sentences. Every word in a fixed vocabulary is represented by a vector. This can be one hot vector seen earlier in this video. Next, we go through each position T in the text, which has a center word C and a context outside words represented as O. Use the similarity of the word vectors for C and O to calculate the probability of O given C. Keep adjusting the word vectors to maximize this probability. Let's visualize the same thing using an example. Here, the center word is into, surrounded by the context words problems, turning, banking and crisis. We have taken a window size of 2. So we are calculating what's the probability that the context word is turning given the center word into. We do this for all the 4 words surrounding the center word. We slide the window and calculate the probabilities again for different center word. Two model variants. There are 2 techniques to calculate word2vec. Skip-gram model, which predicts context words given the center word. The second one is continuous bag of words model, which predicts center word from the context word. Now let's see the word2vec implementation. We are going to implement this using a simple neural network. The goal of the model is to learn the weights of hidden layer of the neural network, and this itself becomes the lookup table for the word vector. We have to train the model to predict the nearby words using the input word. Nearby word is defined with the help of parameter called window size. For the understanding, let's take window size as 2. Let's take a simple example to demonstrate the idea behind skip-gram model. So our sentence is, Bangalore is a hub of startups and it's growing every year. Here blue indicates the input, and in each loop training samples are produced and processed. When center word is Bangalore, the context words are is and are. So for this loop, training samples are produced as Bangalore is and Bangalore are. Similarly, we can calculate training samples for each of the center words. What are these steps in word2vec implementation? We know that words cannot be input to the neural network as text. They must be converted to numbers. For skip-gram model, input is one hot vector. In our tiny example, we have collection of 11 words, so our input vector has dimension of 1 by 11. If you have collection of 10,000 words, then your one hot vector will have 10,000 words. The next parameter is dimension of word vector. In the original paper, the word vector had 300 dimensions. For our example, let's take 10 dimensions. Hidden layer has a weight matrix corresponding to size 11 by 10. 10 here is a dimension of word vector. The output layer is also a single vector with a size corresponding to input vector 1 by 11 in our example. As a first step, we convert our text into one hot vector and feed into the input layers. This one hot vector gets multiplied by hidden layer weight matrix of size 11 by 10 to produce hidden layer of size 1 by 10. Hidden layer is multiplied by output layer weight matrix of size 10 by 11 to produce an output layer of size 1 by 11. Output layer is a single vector with size corresponding to input vector 1 by 11 in our example. If your corpus has 10,000 words, then output layer would have a size of 1 by 10,000. Now let's focus on output layer a bit. We know that output layer is accompanied by output weight matrix. Dimension of this weight matrix is word vector dimension by word vocabulary size. And output layer is a softmax regression classifier. Each output neuron corresponds to each word in the vocabulary. Each neuron passes through softmax function, which outputs probability between 0 and 1. Each output neuron corresponds to a probability that word is the context word for the given target word. This number is higher for those words which are close to the target or center word. For example, the probability for the word Delhi should be higher for the word new because New Delhi is likely to appear together. This means that these two words appear in a similar context. The output is optimized using error function negative log likelihood, and we'll not get into the mathematical aspects of it in this video. Now zooming into hidden layer, we notice that input vector is one hot vector, which means except for one word, all other values are 0. Now watch carefully. When we multiply this one hot vector with hidden layer weight matrix, only that row corresponding to the input word gets selected, and this itself becomes hidden layer. In this example, input vector corresponds to the third word, and hence the third row of the weight matrix gets selected as hidden layer. What this means is that after we train this neural network with thousands of examples, the hidden layer weight matrix itself becomes a dictionary of word vectors, and we would not be interested in any other output of the network. Looking at word vectors are undoubtedly the best ways to train any neural network specific to natural language processing. There are other interesting things that can be done with the word vectors. The most famous example is the formula king minus man plus woman. If we give this as a condition to word-to-vec implementation, we'll get word vectors that are close to queen, princess, etc. Let's recap what we studied here. We started with word meanings and representing the word in computer. We then saw challenges with traditional systems. We then learnt about word vectors and a specific implementation of word vectors called word-to-vec. Finally, we learnt about word-to-vec implementation of skipgram algorithm using neural networks and some uses of word-to-vec. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning. Bye-bye.